I've always been such a huge fan of catch and release fishing. It's such a beautiful way. Let's let this fish go back in the wild. Oh, uh-oh. All jokes aside, guys, I'm going to be showing you how to win fishing challenges. So fishing challenges are free roam events that will pop up with invites on the left side of your screen. In the description, I'll leave a link to a website that will tell you when all free roam events are going to go down. Once you get that invite, just join up. It's going to send you to either a lake, a swamp, or a river. Now, when you get there, remember, location is key. If you choose a bad location, you're going to lose. It's as simple as that. So once you find your location, pull out your fishing rod, and some YouTubers will suggest a special spinner. Don't use it. You can catch a small fish with that, and small fish aren't even worth your time. You will only want to go for the big fish. Trust me, it takes about 4 salmon to make up for 1 big fish. Now, live bait is also a no-go, because that way you're only be catching medium and small fish. You're going to be wanting to use those river lures and those swamp lures to catch the big ones. Also, real quick, I just want to thank you guys for leaving suggestions on the last video. I'm going to start on those next. And also, if you have any other suggestions you want to leave, just put them in the Discord in the video. I'll leave a link to both in the description. A few tips on the fishing part of the video. You're going to want to pull out your fishing rod and use eagle eye to spot fish. Right there I just spotted a lake sturgeon, so I'm going to pull out my lake lure, because that's what sturgeon's like. On the left side of the screen I'll show a little chart that shows you what different fish like. Once I got that equipped, I'm just going to go ahead and cast out. Make sure you're casting in front of the fish though, because if you cast behind the fish, you're just making things hard on yourself. It's going to take that much longer to reel that fish in. And trust me, even 15 seconds can win you the game. And I'll show you a little clip towards the end of the video here of where I won the game with a 19-pound fish in the last half second. Once you got that cast out there, you're going to want to flick the rod right away as soon as the lure hits the water. This essentially creates a lifelike action of the lure to attract the fish. And to flick it, just click RT or the hookfish button and just start slowly reeling in. Keep using your eagle eye to check if the fish is coming in, and in this case I can see the sturgeon is coming in. If they're not coming for the bait, then you might want to reset your cast, but in this case I'm doing fine. And you can see it's starting to bite the hook. There you go, I hooked the fish. Then you want to fight the struggle of the fish. Go to the opposite side of whichever way the fish is pulling. Now it stopped struggling, I'm going to start reeling as fast as I can and pulling down on the left thumbstick to kind of pull the fish back towards me. You can see that creates big jumps on how far the fish is away from me. Bam, I got my first fish. See, one guy has already caught 1 fish, but he's only got 1 pound. I just caught 1 fish and got 19 pounds. You can really see the difference of the size of the fish you're catching. That's why I really recommend you don't use anything besides river, swamp, or lake lures. Those special spinners and those live baits are going to only be catching those smaller fish. The special spinner can catch the bigger fish, but it's also going to be able to catch a smaller fish, and in most cases you don't even want the smaller fish to be going for your bait. Also, make sure you're throwing those fish back, because you can't even keep the big fish. They'll just despawn after the challenge is over. And also in this game, I only caught 2 fish the entire time. I just threw them back, caught them over and over, and ended up with a total of 133 pounds. Also, don't be an idiot like me and make sure you're facing the water, so when you throw the fish back it actually gets in the water. This is the same game as the intro, and I ended up killing another fish. I did it twice in the same game, and I've done it so many times where I wasn't recording. It's kind of embarrassing, but just make sure you're not as dumb as me. Now I'm going to show you all the locations that the fishing challenge could be and what you want to use there. So for the first one, Cumberland Falls, you're going to want to use a river lure to catch salmon right on a rock right below the waterfall. Next up we got a Crease Run. Here you're going to want to use a lake lure to go for muskie. And also, you could go for salmon, but if someone's catching muskie, they're going to outpace you by a ton. So try to go for those muskie and only use salmon as a last-ditch effort. This location, make sure you're not standing in the water, because the fish will actually get scared if you go into the water because of how close you're going to be to them at this spot. Just a quick side note, I think this is one of the most beautiful spots on the game. Next up with a Le Gras. I don't really have a sweet spot for this one. Just a few things. If you're on the west side of the lake, I would recommend using a lake lure, because there tends to be more sturgeon over there. And if you're on the east or north side of the lake, there tends to be more gar, so use a swamp lure. Up at Flatiron Lake, you're going to be wanting to go for bass and trout. You can use a river or lake lure for that. I mean, some people will suggest live bait, but the problem with live bait is you'll catch those little fish as well, which you just don't want. They're not even worth your time. And you're going to want to go to the south of this little dock here, you can see with the marker. Most of the players will be on the island, so you're actually going to be at a big advantage, because all those fish are going to be for you. And at that one location, I'm not sure what it is, but both bass and trout spawn there, and a ton of them spawn there. So trust me, it is worth your while if you spawn on the island. Make sure you're swimming over there. When you win the challenge, you're going to be getting about $35 to $55 and 0.24 to 0.32 gold. The amount you'll get depends on the amount of players in the challenge. And with that being said, guys, that's all I got for today. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.